Oh, oh, I'm Chris. That's Sam. This is FSB, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hitting 298, but his OPS is only 776, and ESPN has him projected to hit 8 home runs this year at his current pace. Tatis hit a homer, a no-doubter, and I want to ask you, who finishes the year with more home runs, Vladdy or Tatis?
Okay, I think that the easy answer is Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Okay.
Right, like the easy answer is Vladdy, because I think that we've seen the pedigree over the past couple of seasons that like the 385 slug is completely in the gutter, and I think that it's something that will improve over the course of 162. However, I think the fun answer is Fernando Tatis Jr. So I will sit here. I'm going to give you Tatis because I think that maybe he gets something going. Maybe we figured out something with that swing. Chris mentioned this a couple weeks ago. This guy like just does not use his legs whatsoever.
No legs,
it's
dude,
just all arms,
body, bro.
Yeah,
it's all
like
upper body.
It's like, and even the home run that he hit was an absolute nuke, but it was just straight upper body. So I think that maybe he can unlock something and figure something out. It's just super mechanical with him. Vladdy just looks like the most overpaid contact hitter I think that the sport's ever seen. He just looks like Luis Ariz.
Dude, it's
like,
so bizarre.
Kind of jumbled up.
Like, I've never seen this before. And like, I know people have their opinions on Savant, but like Vladdy, his bat speed, 94th percentile.
Yeah.
But his average exit velo is 67th percentile, and his hard hit rate is 61st percentile. So he's swinging the ball hard and literally not barreling up anything, dude.
No.
Nothing.
Like it's
sweet spot way below 50% mark.
I want to look at like so if you look at his year over year, this is a complete anomaly. Like this is not, we have never seen it this poor from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. like ever. Like the power, he got like power zapped over the offseason. Like and coming off the World Series run, Chris, like we probably projected him to have a really good 26 and just continue to mash. Like I know that the full year last year was pretty ugly as far as like his standard, right? Like it was like an 830 OPS. I think he only hit like 20 home runs, but we're like, you know what? Like we've seen the 30 home run pop from Vladdy. Like maybe he can take it on some point.
But
like
we're looking at 20 home runs might be in danger this year. Now we're saying this, and we're of course like as soon as we put this episode out, he's going to go on a 2-week tear and and like hit 5 home runs in a week, like just go crazy because he's capable of that.
Yeah,
but it is weird again because I know what I've been looking at, and it's been piquing my interest. I've been looking at first baseman WAR, and as someone who's Yankee coded, I've been looking at all the guys who, if you tweet X player is better than Z player, you get people freaking out because right now Ben Rice is better than Vladdy. Ben Rice is better than Matt Olson. Ben Rice is better than Munetaka Murakami. Like Ben Rice is better than all these guys, but all these guys, honestly, because maybe they're not Yankees for whatever reason. I mean, Vladdy, huge playoff moments, really pretty swing. Like he's kind of like been excluded from the struggling mark because the batting average looks good, but he's not hitting for any kind of pop right now, and it's weird.
Yeah, so I have been pretty adamant on the Ben Rice is better than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. take for, at this point, probably 2 months, because you can look at the sample, Chris, of the 162 last year and then coming into this year and how great Rice has been. Like, if you end up mashing to 200 games or whatever, it's not even an argument. Like, it's not even close, right? But I think it's because Vladdy is the sexy name, and we've seen him for so long, and Ben Rice kind of feels like an unknown to the general public, that it immediately just kind of gets shut down. Like, you're an idiot. Like, you don't make any sense. What are you talking about? Vlad's obviously the better player. But I think that for Rice, he's kind of out of the Vlad conversations, and you're into like the Kurtz conversations and the Olsen conversations. And like, are you better than the 2 to 3 guys that are the best in that position in the sport? And he's been the best at that position in 2026. So he's exited the Vladdy conversation. I think when you look at what Vladdy's doing this year, right, Chris? The walk clip is awesome. Like he's getting on base at a 390 clip.
No, he is. The walk clip is awesome. Like he hasn't been horrible. It's just not like there's not the pop.
It's not $500 million.
Right.
Like the $500 million figure, it looked staggering when he signed it. And we were kind of like, they needed that to keep him around, like whatever. I've never seen a player get paid more off their aura. I'm so sorry. Like I've never seen a player get paid more off their aura. Like it's, for him to get $500 million in today's market is ridiculous. Because like you're telling me that he's worth a lot more than a lot of these other top players are right now, Chris.
Well, and here you go. to do that, to pay the $500 million, it's going to be hard to prove year over year, but this is what you need to do. You need to have multiple MVP top 3 finishes, and
Yep.
you need a crazy postseason run. Now, I know he had one last year, but one is not enough when it's a long-term deal. You need to have multiple big postseason runs, and you have to have multiple MVP top 3 finishes, point blank, period. And again, like when we talk about our conversation between Nick Kurtz, Ben Rice, Olsen, and you just can't be fourth.
No.
You just can't,
And
just can't be fourth.
And another thing to kind of factor in here, Chris, is he's a first baseman. Like, this is a position where you're not getting any defensive value. Vladdy isn't some like otherworldly defensive first baseman either. So for him to get the $500 million contract was staggering then, and I think it's even more staggering now, to the point where, like, hey, like Juan Soto getting that amount of money, I'm okay with. Like, I think that's fine. Like, that's how great of a baseball player he is. Shohei Ohtani getting that kind of figure, I think he's okay, because obviously the money that he brings back to the Dodgers and the talent that he brings to the table. What is he? He's like the third most expensive contract in the sport when it's like total value, right?
Yeah,
it's like him, Shohei, and Juan Soto. I think that's like, we're not even close here. Like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. a top 25 player in the sport right now? Probably not.
I mean, dude, the OPS is below 800. And look, the OPS is below 800, but we have a high expectation for you because your money tells us we should have that expectation for
right.
You. So I'm just looking at you and I'm like, dang, are you going to get to 20 home runs this year?
73rd in the sport in F4.
Yeah. Not good
the
enough.
Entirety of the 2026 season. Not good enough. Needs to be better. I do think he will be better because, like, I think that's a team. Like, I think they'll make a serious playoff push. I think they're good enough right now. I think they'll add the starting pitching. We kind of talked about that last week, but like, they need him to be that driving force in this lineup, especially with no Bichette. I feel like that looks so overlooked for this Blue Jay team right now. Like, I know that Bichette sucks. Like, Bichette is awful for the Mets right now, right? But the factor that he was in that Blue Jay lineup for a set amount of years, and even down the stretch for them last season and then into the World Series, was so big for them. And I feel like them losing a part of that, and Okamoto not like looking otherworldly yet and not necessarily putting it all together, it looks weird right now for the Blue Jays lineup. I think they put it all together. However, it needs to start with Vladdy.
Yeah. And they've had some injury stuff, like we know that. But if they want to get back in this race, they're 8.5 games back of New York, who's 1 game back of Tampa Bay. If they want to get in this race, Vladdy just has to be the best player in the world. It's funny because you go on the timeline and you see more discourse about how Aaron Judge is washed and less discourse about how Vladdy is not doing his part at all.
Correct. Yes. Which is ridiculous. And like, the Judge stuff is different, but
yeah, we know. It's honestly like, I'm from Akron, so like, growing up, like watching LeBron, I get it. I completely understand it.
Right.
Like, how heavy the pinstripe is, how heavy it is to be the best player in the sport. Some division leaders as of today: Tampa Bay Rays 36-21. They won yesterday against Detroit, who absolutely like deserved to get the whole team sent out of the minor leagues for some defense in that game. It was absolutely absurd. But they are 36-21. New York is 36-23. They are 1 game back. At the bottom is still the Boston Red Sox at 25-33, and their season has been absolutely abysmal. We know that. The Central, we do have the Guardians are taking on the Yankees this week. Going to be a really fun series, but a series that I think highlights what you and I said last week and what teams need to add to the deadline. The Guardians need to add starting pitching. Here is the matchup this week as they take on the Yankees again in New York. It is Cam Siller versus Joey Cantillo. That is a hydrogen bomb versus a coughing baby, okay?
Yeah.
It is Gavin Williams versus Garrett Cole, and traditionally Gavin Williams has excelled against other teams' aces or number 2. So, like, that's a good one. And then game 3 is Slade Zacconi versus Carlos Rodon, who historically has owned the Guardians. The Guardians need starting pitching, and I think this series could kind of alert them to that because in all likelihood, they will see each other in the postseason, and playoff pitching matters. Thoughts on the Guards? First place, 34-27. Is it a Fugazi first place, or is their first place a little bit earned?
No, I think it's real. I mean, that division as a whole just like completely stinks, right? So like we've kind of seen them dominate this division, who's been horrible for the past decade at this point in time, right? Like, but I do want to tap back on the starting pitching thing. Like, I think that we like what Gavin Williams is a lot. I think that we like what Parker Messick is. But your third guy being a Joey Cantillo, and like I told you pre-show, my like one memory of him was game 1 of the LCS, just kind of pissing his pants and walking everybody and couldn't get anything done. That being your 3 guy in a postseason set is horrible, right? Like, I know that it doesn't necessarily line up. So like Messick isn't pitching this series, right? But if this is a real thing, Chris. This is a real matchup that we could see in the postseason this year, where it's the Yankees versus the Guardians, and the Yankees are going to push out 3 guys, and they could sweep you in a 5-game set. Like that's how they're currently
I mean, they can walk like Cam Slittler game 1 and Garrett Cole game 2. They can walk anybody down.
Right. Like there's a chance that like they don't even see Rodon in that series because of how talented that staff is, right? Because like they're going to get freed back at some point in time. They're going to look a lot better. But for the Guardians, they 100% need to add starting pitching at this deadline. And I think we're going to see it this series because that Yankee offense is obviously as good as it is. However, the rotation is just not talented whatsoever. And I feel like in a division that's so poor right now, like I feel like, the Tigers are obviously in the basement. Murakami's out for the White Sox and he'll be gone for a while. Like Cleveland should run away with this division and end up capturing another AL Central title. However, I want to see you go for it a little bit. Right. I feel like that's the one thing that we've seen from the Guardians over the past couple of seasons. They'll waltz in, they'll win a wild card series. They'll go out in the DS, they'll go out in the CS, like whatever. I want to see you go big. I want to see you buy at the deadline. I want to see you bring in an arm and just start mashing, dude. Maybe a bat too. I think a bat would be fun for them. That's another Christian Walker team that I kind of like too, Chris.
I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, th're starting Reese Hoskins a lot, and he's like been horrible.
Yeah.
He's hitting under 200. And here we go, just like real quick. Bazana has like number 1 pick in a draft that featured JJ Weatherholt, in a draft that featured Connor Griffin, in a draft that featured Nick Kurtz, Caglione, like a draft that absolutely loaded. And Bazana, since coming up, may be honestly the best offensive second baseman in the sport. I mean, honestly, he's had the hottest stretch amongst second basemen since he came up. I'll say that because I think JJ Weatherholt is better. I like JJ a lot. But for him to come up and hitting the way he is, I mean, we're talking about someone who right now is hitting 294 and a 839 OPS and the same amount of home runs as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And there's no talk about, dang, they should have drafted Kurtz. I think that's a huge win. And this is for him at
for sure.
Yankee Stadium. And he's got poolside power. Look, I don't think the Guardians have the firepower like in a playoff series to beat the Yankees, but he can hit one this series. And Rodon, who's adverse to giving up the long ball a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a good fastball hitter. I mean, Cam Slittler doesn't really use a changeup, so we'll see. I mean, it's good on good. He could be someone who kind of puts a swing out. It's like, okay, this is a really, really good second baseman. So I'm interested in him. And honestly, DeLauder, how Yankees pitchers attack those two in particular, because it is, look, they need a bat, yes. They need a first baseman, but the youth wave offensively, I think, is why they need pitching more.
Yeah, and I think the one thing for the Guardians, Chris, and this is kind of just a common theme for them over the past couple of seasons, like nobody really cares about Cleveland, right? Like nobody cares about their lineup. Like
100%.
We'll see them in October, and like it kind of is what it is. But this, for DeLauder and Bazana specifically, this could be their coming out party. Walk into Yankee Stadium, have a good series, get put on the national stage. Like I feel like after DeLauder's hot stretch, you stopped hearing about him. It was like the first week, and it was like whatever. Baz, you heard about him when he came up, and then it was like whatever.
Wait, so it took 3 games to get his first hit. He was horrible.
Right. So like I feel like not a lot of people are talking about these young guns in Cleveland. However, you trek up to Yankee Stadium, you have a good series against these great starting pitchers that the Yankees are going to throw out this week. You put yourself on the national stage, and I think you get more people talking about it. I think that then puts more fresh pressure on the Cleveland front office to improve this roster this summer, make them a little bit better for the postseason push, run it through. I do love the youth movement in Cleveland, Chris.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, Parker Messick, rookie. Chase DeLauder, rookie. Bazana, rookie. Angel Martinez. I mean, he's been really, really good this year. I think he's like 24 years old. Like like a ton of youth. The Athletics just lost the series to the Yankees. They are taking on the Cubs. Now, with the series struggles they had, they went from first or second place in the division to now third place in the division. They are sitting at, what are they, 28 and 31. They're behind the Rangers and the Mariners. They play the Cubs this week, starting today. That, to me, is a really good second litmus test. Can this young team stop the bleeding? Period. Can they get the bats going, and can they stop the bleeding? And they are at the Cubs. Then they're at Houston, and then they're home versus Milwaukee. They have to win either this Cubs series or this Milwaukee series for Chris Drew in the year of our Lord 2026 to take you super seriously. Thoughts on how big of a series this is, or am I overinflating the series importance because I'm way too early on the A's?
No, I think that it is absolutely huge for this Athletics team, and a couple reasons why, right? So, like, I was able to watch the series this weekend against the Yankees, and obviously the thing that sticks out like a sore thumb is your starting pitching is horrible.
Bingo.
And
It's horrible.
We've harped on that for at this point 2 months of saying like, hey, like we like what their core is, we like what their lineup is. However, their starting pitching stinks. They need to add that at the deadline if they want to be able to compete. However, what also sticks out like a sore thumb to me, Chris, about this Athletics team is they have 3 great hitters. They have Kurtz, Cortez has been awesome for them, and then it's Langoliers, right? Soderstrom can't hit this year.
No, he's really struggled, and that disappoints me because he was going to have to be the glue guy. Like he was your Schneemann, your Caballero, like the guys that are the glue guys for this team. He has not been that at all after getting a really hot start to his rookie year a year ago.
Yeah, and other guys that stink, probably they're a guy who's been, if not. So last year he was probably their second best hitter, but for the past 5 years he's been their best hitter. Brent Rooker's been horrible.
Yeah.
Like he has been absolutely abysmal for this team. You know who else has been really bad for this team? Lawrence Butler, who got that big extension last offseason. He has a 16 WRC plus in the year, Chris. So they need their starting pitching has got to improve no matter what, right? But B, their bats need to wake up, and it needs to be their contributing bats that finally step up that we saw last year, right? I think that last year we saw from their young core of this lineup, hey, like if you guys add, like you could be fun. You could be a little playoff team. Like let's see it, dude. Right? Let's put it all together in 26. They trade for McNeil in the offseason. I don't love what Jeff McNeil is, but like that's kind of like
I thought that was weird of them to do.
It was super weird.
Weird.
Right.
And whenever I see Jeff McNeil and Jacob Wilson like on screen at the same time, to me, it reminds me of like a movie. Like, why are y'all two together? You guys should not be like the old vet, like the young kid. Like, I do not.
100%, dude. It's one of them baseball movies, bro. It's super weird. But they need their core to start hitting, and if they don't start hitting, I don't love them in this division. Even though the division is unbelievably weak, we've seen Seattle kind of kick it on, and they're right where they should be at this point in time. I'm confused on what Texas is because they can't hit, but they can throw really well. But for the Athletics, I think that they're the dark horse team in that division and the dark horse team in the American League if they can get it going and if they can add. So, yes, I think this is huge for them. However, I also think this is huge for Chicago, Chris, because this is a team that is not without their struggles either. They went through – they started the season incredibly well, looked like the best team in the sport for a while, and then they went on this putrid 15-game stretch where they won like 2 games. Yeah. So, I know that you mentioned it last week. They are just the most inconsistent team in Major League Baseball right now. So
they fell apart, and it's funny because like the face of their franchise is Pete Crow Armstrong, who is when he's good, he's really, really good. When it's bad, it's like really black eye blunders. Now he's been a net positive for them, but this team kind of represents how he's viewed optically, and it's like really inconsistent. I mean, they're 3-7 in their last 10, and they are right now gridlocked. Second place of that division, Cardinals, Pirates, Cubs, all tied, all 5.5 games back of Milwaukee, who is steady Freddie, Thomas the Train. We're just going to keep this thing mowing, and likely the best or second best rotation in the entire sport. They've been fantastic, and I'm starting to wonder, will any of these teams be able to be consistent for long enough to catch the consistency of Milwaukee's pitching? And look, Chicago, they have to climb out of this dark depth now, and so that's why, to me, this is the most intriguing or second most intriguing series this week.
I think I'm done with the NL Central.
Oh, okay. You're done. Are you stamping it?
I think I've made my mind up. I think I know how we're going to finish. Like it's like you said, man, like they've been gridlocked for weeks, right? Like, so they've all been within like 3 games of each other. Every single team is above 500. I'm ready to, there's a team that's going to be on dead watch, and they're going to be on dead watch for the next 2 weeks. Okay. It's the Reds.
Yeah.
The Reds are on dead watch. Elliot De La Cruz is going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. It's like a hamstring strain or something like that. They lost their best player, right? I don't think that this Reds team is good enough without Elliot De La Cruz to not finish last place in this super ultra competitive division. I think that they're like the Pirates are better, the Cubs are better. Like there's no way.
The Reds boat was always being held together with duct tape. Like it was and like once you lose that one major piece of wood, how long can this thing stay afloat?
Right. Yeah. So I think that they're going to be on dead watch over the next 2 weeks. I don't like their stretch upcoming. The Chicago team, I like them because I like of what their core is, and I think that they need to get something done over the next 2 to 3 years, or this is just a complete failure for like what their roster is at this current point in time. Because listen, Chris, like for the Cubs, they have to win right now. If they don't win in this 2 to 3 year window, it's a complete failure. That's how their contract something done over the next 3 years, or we're cooked, right? Like we're looking at it. We're then entering another Chicago Cubs rebuild where this team is going to be poor. Milwaukee, I think I'm going to stamp as the division winner. I think that I'm more with them at the point that they look like a much more complete unit. Their starting pitching is incredible. They can hit to the point where we can win ball games here. I think that that's how the Central is going to shake out. I think that the Cardinals are a year too early. I think that we'll see them kind of teeter off a little bit. I still think that they're a solid baseball team. I don't think they're a playoff team in this, honestly, like gauntlet of a National League. It's kind of nasty out there.
No, I'd agree with you. I think St. Louis is a year ahead of schedule, and I think if they panic and try to bite the deadline, I think that'd be a mistake. They should hold.
No, and I think like Bloom's not going to do that. Right. No way Bloom is going to go out there and like just cash out on all his assets and like run it right now. But like I think that with JJ and Jordan, I think that they can be a really good team next year and just roll from there. And Pittsburgh, man, I like Pittsburgh kind of built to win right now, and maybe we see them make a little bit of a push. They're 4 games over 500, so like keep it rolling. I'm gonna cash my win over at 79.5 for sure.
Dude, we were so early on that. We saw the vision, and I love Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia didn't see the vision.
No, man. Like we were rocking, but like I think the NL Central right now, I think the other 3 teams are going to get weird. I think that one of them can make the postseason. I think Chicago being the most likely, but I think that Cincinnati is going to be your last place team. I think Milwaukee's going to be your winner.
Yeah. And Jared Jones is going to make his return to the Pirates at some point soon.
I think he is back. He is back. Yeah, he is back. Yeah, he is back.
He's
been back for like a week.
Made 1 start. Yeah, one start, and was not very good. Oh, I can't believe I missed that one. I love Jared Jones, dude. I love him.
He rocks. Yeah.
I love like little flamethrowers, bro. I think that's why I like him and Bubba Chandler, because Bubba Chandler feels little, but Bubba Chandler's fastball. Actually, Bubba Chandler's not even little. He just feels smaller than he is. He's 6'3".
Yes.
The fastball velo's there, but the ERA's not. So, fastball shape matters, folks, not just the overall velocity. All right. I want to play a quick. Obviously, the Dodgers bottom it. We know what they're doing. The Dodgers are going to win it, right? They're going to win.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. They're sleepwalking. I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, shout out the Braves. First team to 40 wins.
Yes. Love you, Atlanta. Thank you. Love you, Atlanta.
I was in Atlanta last week. I wanted to go to the Atlanta Invitational. My Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets got bounced in the first round of the College World Series. Even though they were the 2 seed, bro. Dude, hold up, bro. This is crazy. College baseball is crazy. They had their closer pitch 6 innings.
What?
Yeah, dude. College baseball was nuts. So it's a game 7 of this part of the bracket against Oklahoma. They brought their closer in. He's never gone this far. They pitched him 6 innings. He gave up 2 runs in the 6 innings. And then they brought in their Friday night starter. And in college baseball, the Friday night starter is a superstar.
Right.
But he just threw 94 pitches on Saturday. They brought him in, and he gave up a walk-off solo blast to dead center in the 10th inning.
That's tough.
Dude.
What, their closer pitched 6 innings?
Dude, literally, the broadcast is like, are they going to send him back out there again? And
is his UCL okay?
Dude, I don't know. It was bizarre. Like, again, it's college baseball, so it's a little funky, but think about that, dog. A closer, because they brought him in during a high-leverage moment early in the game, and then they just kept sending him back out there, bro.
And you completely have to flip mentalities when you go from being a long guy from being a closer.
Yeah.
Like he probably went out his first inning and was just pumping Chad. And then your second inning, you're like lacking off.
I got to go do it again. I got to go.
Right. Yeah. So
just like each inning, Sam, you just saw the changeup usage go higher and higher and higher.
Oh, 100%. Because the fastball turned into a changeup. That was the problem.
Dude. It's yo, literally, they're like the broadcast is like, are they gonna give us 6 2/3 from the closer?
Oh, so it was 6 2/3?
Yeah.
I thought it was 6 flat. Okay, so that's even more than I thought it was. Like
6 2/3, bro.
What are we doing here, man? That's
to the Friday night starter, who again, this game was yesterday. The Friday night starter threw 94 pitches on Saturday.
That comes in and just like Nestor Cortez's.
Yeah, dude.
It's just like a Nestor moment.
Just everybody's elbow just pull, dude. Everybody's elbow. Okay, back to the MLB. All right, percent chance, Sam, that Tarek Skubal gets traded.
100%.
Woo! 100%. You're 100%, there. Okay.
Dude, like the Tigers stink. Okay. If the Tigers don't trade Tarek Skubal, I think that they'd be stupid. Like, I think
I'd agree.
It is very obvious. It is evidently obvious they are not going to resign him in the offseason. So I am going to take the most prized possession on my roster, trade him at the deadline, and see what I get back. I don't care where it goes to. If I get a great haul for it, I'm going to be perfectly fine with that, and we'll move on with the future, right?
And right now, Detroit is in last place in the division. They're 11 games back.
So last place in the worst division in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's not even like you're not playing in the AL East. You're not playing in the NL East. You're not playing in the NL West, where there's a lot of competition, or the NL Central, where there's like, it's a gauntlet out there. You are playing in literally the worst division in baseball. So you're not good enough to beat these awful teams in your division. Why am I going to have confidence in you guys as a roster to be able to do that? Right. I think that, I mean, like, I saw that he's throwing bullpens now, that he's like getting ready to go, and he apparently like looks good after the weird like surgery or whatever. Those starts when he comes back are going to be primetime appointment television, because every single person is going to wish that their team is going to trade for Tarek Skubal at the deadline.
And the biggest
don't know where
have the assets to do it and go win now. And I think that is an intriguing factor as well.
Yeah. I do think there's a fun one. There's a fun team that I think that could trade for him outside of the big market pieces, and I think that it would just drop a nuclear bomb on the sport.
Ooh.
Tampa Bay.
Whoa.
Tampa Bay.
And I could see him in a Tampa uniform. That would be shocking.
Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Would that make them your AL favorite?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. With the way that they've played this year, Chris, you add the best pitcher in the sport on top of it. What they've done offensively, the rotation is obviously already incredible as is. You tack on the best pitcher in the sport, you're the American League favorite to me at that point in time. And they have the assets to be able to get it done. At that point in time, they're taking out the Yankees out of the Tarek Skubal conversation. They're taking out Toronto out of the Tarek Skubal conversation. You don't send him to Los Angeles, so you don't create this super team out there in LA with the Dodgers. If they acquire Tarek Skubal, that is just absolute death switch. I would absolutely love to see it. And it would be, listen, Chris, this was a team that was in the market for Shohei Ohtani, and they offered Junior Caminero for Shohei Ohtani. The Angels said no. So they were in the Shohei Ohtani market. And remember, they were competing that year. Like, they were in it. They could have made a deep postseason run. So this is a team that wanted to trade for Shohei Ohtani. I can 100% see them trading for Tarek Skubal.
A Schlittler Skubal game one would be absolute, like, sit down, get the old cameras out.
No doubt. Game. Yeah, you need to bring all the old cameras.
Yeah, old cameras.
You got to bring all the old cameras. Yeah, we're ripping.
You know, when they do the pan down and people are taking flash photos with the disposables in the crowd.
It
just feels different, man. Send Brady out there to go film it.
Yes,
Send Brady out there.
100%.
All right, percent chance he gets traded. CJ Abrams. Right now, the Nationals are sitting 9.5 games back from the Braves, who we both think are going to run away with that division.
I think low.
Okay.
I don't. So there's a lot of questions that I have about CJ Abrams, and one is the consistency. Like, this is, we've seen such an offensive spike this year. I think it's real. Like, he's a legitimate MLB hitter. Like, I think that he's, one of the better ones in Major League Baseball. He's awful defensively. He is a really bad defensive shortstop. And I don't know if a team is going to, because listen, it's going to cost a ton, right? Like, I think that Washington is in good enough standing at this point in time where I don't think they need to sell their biggest asset at the deadline right now. Okay. And is a team going to shell out major assets for CJ Abrams, who is an eyesore at shortstop and has had one really good 3-month stretch as a major league hitter? If I'm an organization, am I selling out my like top 2 prospects for that? Probably not. I think if it's on the cheaper side that he gets dealt, but I think that the percentage chance that I put it out right now is like 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Percent chance that Adley Rutschman gets traded. Baltimore sitting at 28-32, and they get the young kid who plays catcher who's also raking. Percent chance Adley Rutschman on a bounce back year, they trade him.
I will put this a lot higher than I have Abrams. I think that there's like a 75% chance Adley Rutschman gets dealt. And there's a reason why. I think that if you're the Orioles, you can leverage Adley Rutschman into improving your starting rotation. The Orioles have had starting rotation problems for years, right? I'm staring right at the Yankees. I'm staring at Will Warren. I'm staring at Ryan Weathers. I'm looking at a swap for one of those guys and getting more arms in exchange. The mock trade that we just put together today was Weathers, Emma Rodriguez, Ben Hess, for Adley Rutschman to the Yankees. And I think that it's much higher because of the Basayo thing. Obviously, they paid him. They gave him the 7-year, $68 million deal.
Mhm.
And Rutschman, at this point in time, has become an asset that I think has a lot of value compared to last year.
They're surplus at catcher. They're just surplus there.
For sure. Like it's a crowded room, and you're not going to play both of those guys. You can't look at one of them and say, yeah, we could shove you at first base. They just gave Pete Alonso a 5-year deal. So I don't like Adley's good enough defensively that I don't want him DHing every day. So I think that with them paying Basayo, I think that with it being a jam, I think that Adley could help a lot of major league teams right now that have catching issues. And I think that the Orioles have issues that they can improve on by dealing out Adley and adding some starting pitching. I'd put it at a 75% chance. It would still shock me, though, because of the pedigree of what Adley Rutschman is and how he came up and all of that stuff and how important he's been to that core. But I think there's definitely a chance.
Do you know he was so dominant at Oklahoma State that in a playoff game, he got walked with the bases loaded?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I watched a little bit of college baseball. So for me, it's like he's always been like someone like that's like amongst like the most legendary status. Okay.
Right.
Percent chance that Freddie Peralta gets moved.
Very high. Yeah. I'd say like a 90% chance. This team needs to sell 110%. Like it's like we called them dead a month ago. Like there's all right, man. Percent chance that I think that he should get dealt, 90%. Percent chance that Steve Cohen thinks that he should get dealt, 10%. So we'll just like meet in the middle there, right? Like, is Steve Cohen actually going to sell at the deadline? I mean, I know that they had the weird deadline a couple years ago with the Verlander Scherzer, and they like ate all of that money and like dealt out and like recouped some assets here. But is he going to do it again with the expiring deal, or is he going to want to keep him around and try to extend him? I think that they should trade him 110%. I think that there's some interesting shooters for Freddie Peralta. There's a lot of teams at the deadline that are going to need starting pitching. You know what, Chris? And this is like, I mean, I don't think the Baltimore's in a good enough standing to the point where they can fully buy at the deadline. But if we get to that point and they're a much improved ball club, and this isn't an Adley team, but I think that that's a team that could trade for Freddie Peralta too. Like they need starting pitching in the worst way possible. Make a little push. Like I like what Baltimore's core is. Like they're struggling out there right now. Like it's not great. Like the product isn't awesome. However, they're a team that could go there. I think Atlanta, they won't do in division. That'd be kind of nasty. Chicago, I think, is a team that would do it. I'm trying to think of another Freddie Peralta team. I think Toronto. You've mentioned Toronto is a Freddie Peralta team too, and I would also drop them in that Tampa Bay Rays basket if they cannot get a Tarek Skubal at the deadline. So just like some automatic feelers of teams that I think could trade for Freddie. I think he should get dealt. Will Big Steve do it? I don't know.
I just put this together randomly. Logan Webb straight up for Adley Rutschman. Does that work for both parties?
I mean, they just dealt Bailey.
Yeah, I mean,
they get their Bailey replacement. He probably would really like Adley because he can hit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he hated Patrick Bailey, because he couldn't hit. I think that works.
And then the Orioles get their pitching.
Right. But like, so here's like the only question that I have about Baltimore is, so like Baltimore is 28-32. They're only a game back in the wild card, Chris.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, like, I mean, if you're looking to bolster starting pitching with a guy who you feel at least decent about, and you get him through 2028, that's through the 31 season. He's an undrafted free agent and 2029. I'm just thinking about, look, I think Logan Webb's going to get dealt. I think the Cubs are going to make a play for him.
No, for sure.
In my head, like that's one of the swaps that I feel like maybe makes sense, and maybe someone will tell me how much of an idiot I am. But like,
it makes Baltimore way better. It could be like they're very rare, like 1-for-1 major league player swap,
which you literally never see. It's super rare, but it's like one of those things that, like Posey feels like that would be his kind of deal that he makes.
The only question that I would have regarding the Giants and what they'd be receiving in compensation is, are the Giants looking right now to recoup their farm, or are they looking for major league talent?
They probably want to recoup the farm. You're right.
So I'm thinking that like that's the only question that I would have with it, is like, what is San Francisco looking for specifically? Because I think they're going to have just a gross deadline. It's going to look really nasty.
Mm-hmm.
But are they in position to trade for an Adley Rutschman is like kind of like my thinking there. But I think that the swap does make sense.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's the other. And here's the thing: like I don't know where this is so ridiculous. Like the Georgia Tech catcher, He like hit for a cycle and played every position on the field.
Yeah.
He's hitting 400 on the year. He's a projected top 10 pick. If the Giants can't get Rock, they could get this kid, the Van Lackey kid from Georgia Tech, and he's a kid that, is probably ready to play quickly because the kids who stay this long in college are closer to ready than most of the kids. I could see them going that way. So I would agree with you on that. But anyway, percent chance that Logan Webb gets moved, and then we'll get out of here.
Very high. Yeah, I would also put that at like 90%. Yeah, I mean, it's like this team is bad. Like this team is real bad. And I think that Logan Webb is Logan Webb the one asset that they don't have that is just in the gutter, right? Like I think that like Adames, I think is in the gutter. I think that Devers is in the gutter. Like of their tradable assets, he's probably the one. Like Chris, like he makes $18 million a year. Yeah. And he is a consistent, like top 10 Cy guy in the National League. He's one of the more consistent starting pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he's like a 200 inning guy. He's like I call him one of the last of the Mohicans, like one of the last of the
horses.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and like he hasn't been awesome this year, but I think that it is like I think it's a thing where like it's super infectious in that clubhouse right now. Like like it's just nasty everywhere.
Dude, how would you feel if as soon as you guys give up 2 runs, it's over?
Right? Yeah, like it's horrible. So. Yeah. I think that he's for sure an asset that, and to be honest with you, Chris, I think he brings them back a lot because I think that he's a super valuable starting pitcher. I think that he's going through the Gallen thing, but I think that he's better than Gallen.
I'd agree.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Gallen,
yeah, he's like way better than Gallen, right?
I mean, he's better than Gallen. He's better than Sandy.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. That's another one. I wonder if Sandy gets dealt too.
I think they have to move Sandy this year. I mean, the contract's
at this point in time.
But he hasn't been a sub-4 ERA guy since he won a Cy Young.
No, I know, which is crazy. And he started this year incredibly well. He threw a match. He threw a match. Like his first month was insane. He just fell off a cliff again. Just like looks horrible. So, but does he bring them back enough assets? Like, is he even good enough? Probably not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got to trust Logan Webb more than I trust Sandy. Right? Yeah. Like it's not even close. Yeah.
You're 100% right. This is a good episode, dog. 36 minutes. That's Sam. I'm Chris. Follow us on all socials. Also, we're gonna throw Sam's personal page in the bio too, because Sam's been cooking on the personal page. Gotta get
Sam's Sports Talk page. Sam's Sports Talk page. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude.
Get me. Rock out. Rock out.
Motion. Rock out. Not gonna finish it. Anyway, like, sub, and we'll talk to you guys probably Thursday.
Yep.
Peace out.